Hello, lovelies. It's your girl JK. Welcome to another fantastic edition of the Inside Nollywood Conversations. And on today's edition, we are supposed to be talking, of course, to the president of the Association of Movie Directors in Nigeria. But while we're waiting for his representative to join us, I would like to give you guys happenings and updates in Nollywood. So presently, sadly, um, Pat Nebo just passed on, and it's a sad one. I think he passed on yesterday, actually. It's a sad one. So, guys, remember to send your condolence to his family, his friends, and of course, his colleagues as well. So, one of the amazing upcoming events for in Nollywood that is coming up very soon is the ANMD National Convention, and it's going to be happening in October, exactly October 22nd, as a matter of fact, of this year. And that is going to be a fantastic event because movie directors are going to be coming together, and these are decision makers in the Nollywood industry, of course. And it promises to be exciting, promises to be informative, and educative as well. So we're still waiting for our guest, who is the representative of the Association of Nigerian Movie Directors. We're waiting, guys. Okay, so I'm going to keep telling you about our programs that you should be expecting. On Tuesdays, I come to the X Space to give you guys the X Space show, where we have guests on the show and we talk about fantastic stuff. Not just about our guests, but we always have topics that are engaging and fun, guys. So there's going to be another show that is coming up this weekend. I don't know if I should give you guys the update. Are you ready for it? Are you guys ready? Another show is coming your way, which is the Nollywood Deal Makers. Yeah, I know you're excited. So on Saturday, we're going to be bringing you the Nollywood Deal Makers on Saturday evening. And I don't want to tell you our guest yet. It's supposed to be like a surprise, right? So if you join this show, you're going to see our guest, right? But I always bring fantastic people on the show. So that's what you should look out for. And of course, we are going to bring you Nollywood Communique or Communicate. And that is basically about information in the Nollywood, like trending gist. Like, for example, as of last week, you know what happened to the Nollywood actress Moyo Lawal? For some reasons, her nude or whatever was out there, and the social media was on fire. So these are the gist you're going to be hearing on Trendy Gist, like things happening presently in the Nollywood industry. Do you understand? So that's what the Trendy Gist is about, like the Nollywood communique. That's what we'll bring to you on that show, and you'll be seeing my fine face. I'll bring you guys updates and updates and updates and updates, basically, right? And of course, there are going to be more shows because there'll still be the Vox Pop where we go on the street, talk to amazing people. You're going to be winning tickets, you're going to be winning stuffs, credit card on the show. That's why you need to participate because it promises to be amazing. Nollywood, inside Nollywood, we are bringing you back to back information, entertainment, everything Nollywood. That's what we're here for, right? So while we're still waiting for our guests, um, while we're still waiting for our guests, I want to tell you guys about my show on Tuesday. It was amazing. We had the amazing actor Emeka Amekeze on the show, and he was one of the actors in Mami Water, the movie that just won a Sundance Award. And that movie has been showing everywhere in the world. And we talked about the ability to be able to penetrate the international market with your movies. There was something he said that really struck me that I want to talk about. I asked him a question that, have you ever rejected a script because you don't like the story, or because you just feel like the content is not right? And he said yes, that he has rejected, some movie scripts based on these reasons. So he went on to say that there are some movie writers or some movie directors or whatever. People will bring scripts and tell you, okay, this is the script. I want you to be on this script. I want you to act. in this movie, and they don't even make due findings. Do you understand what I'm saying? So they can bring a script and say, okay, this is a script. I want you to be an actor. I want you to act. For example, I want you to be Desmond in this movie, right? But in the storyline, at the end of the day, you'd realize that these people do not, they have not made due findings about what they are trying to portray in the movie. So he told me something. He said he understands history, especially like the history of the eastern part of Nigeria. And he has seen scripts where people just come and, they represent women wrongly. He told me, he said, in the olden days, there were women that were rich. There were women that were into businesses. Like they had different businesses, they were doing well, respected in the society. But most times, he said, most of these epic movies, when they come to you, they paint women like people who don't even have a voice, people who are not talented, people who cannot do anything, people who cannot handle businesses. And he has a point. And he told me those were one of the reasons why he rejected some scripts, because most of these scripts are not even portraying the true story behind the culture they are trying to talk about. So at the end of the day, I learned something from that, because if you want to do a movie, if you're producing a movie for, let's say you're producing a movie for young Nigerians, you should go and make findings, make research about the typical behavior of an ordinary youth in Nigeria. Do you understand? You have to know how they react to situations, their mindsets, the kind of things that they do and everything. You don't just come after you write a movie to portray a culture or a set of people wrongly, when actually that is not what they really are. So he said he rejects some of those scripts because of that. Because he feels like if you're coming to talk about a culture, you're coming to talk about a people, what stops you from going deep and finding out the real details? Like, who are these people? What do they like? What do they wear? What are their everyday situations? How do they talk? What do they eat? So he went on to say all these things, and I learned from it. And then he shared a funny experience with me. I asked him that he should tell me what was the most challenging role for him. What is that role he was given, and he felt it was really challenging, right? And he said it was a particular movie he did years ago. And I said, how was it challenging? He said in that movie, he was sitting down with fellow, I think the producer and the director, they are friends, and he's supposed to be in the movie. And he said, okay, you know how it is now, like when colleagues sit down together and they're talking about a movie. So they were like, okay, this movie that we want to do, Emeka, we think that you should go bald for this movie. It's going to come out nice. So he was like, excuse me. So they were like, you won't just go bald, like taking off your hair. You're going to take off your facial hair. That's your eyebrow, your mustache, your beard, everything. So it was really challenging for him, because he said, usually me, fine boy, he already knows that he's a nice looking guy, and when he's on a movie he always comes out looking nice. So it was a bit challenging for him, because he said to himself that when he told me, he said at that point, he just said, see, you're an actor. If they said you have to do this thing, he thought they were joking at first, but they were like, no, 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 you need to take off your facial hair. That's what's going to fit this role. So he said at that point he made up his mind and said, I'll do this thing. So he stood up and walked into a barber salon. I told them, take off my whole hair, my eyebrows, my mustache, and my beards. And they took it off. He said when he looked at himself in the mirror, like, could this be me? I told him, I said, you're looking like a potato. He said, yes, I was actually looking like a potato. So, guys, I said all that to say this. These are things that we get to learn, we get to talk about on the show. It's always amazing. That's why you guys, you should never miss any of our shows. Trust me. So I asked him, I said, so how did you cope eventually? He said he had to carry his bald face all through the movie. He said, I had to come to an acceptance of the ugliness first before I was able to understand my role and interpret it well. So it was a bit challenging for him, because first of all, you look at yourself and be like, no, this is not me. So it took him a while to accept first the role, the character he was given, and then at that point he was able to interpret it. So these were the things he talked about. And I think he really does have a point, especially concerning those who write movies without making research. If you are a script writer out there and you write movies for people, or you create scripts and all that, I think that you should work on making research, doing the right due findings. You wanna, for example, talk about or act about the Benin Kingdom. you should go there. You should go there. You should speak to the chiefs. If you're permitted or given the privilege to talk to the Oba, you should talk to the Oba. You understand? Because this gives you a better understanding of what you want to talk about. If you want to talk about the Benin people, you should go there. You should make findings. Talk to the ordinary Benin man or Benin woman. Ask them what their cultures are. What are the taboos? What can a Benin woman do? What can she do? Do you understand? What can a married woman do? What can the young maidens do? What are the don'ts? What are the rules and regulations? When it's, how do you guys eat yam? How do you dress? What are your marital rights? Like when they want to get married, what do they bring? Do you understand? So these are what makes a people, a culture, and everything. So honestly, after talking to Emeka and Mekezi on Tuesday, I learned so much, even as a person, and I'm going to pass on this knowledge to as many people I come across. So if you know you're a movie director out there or a script writer, if you want to write a script, so that actors like Emeka will not reject your script, because he said if you're not portraying the culture well that you're trying to, act or create a movie about, he will not be a part of it, because he has realized that it is wrong. It is wrong, even in the movie ethics. It is wrong. You shouldn't go out there portraying people, except it is fiction. If it's fiction, fantastic. You can just, create something in your mind. But if you're representing a people or you're writing about someone's culture, I think that you should put in that effort to go out there, make findings about these people. If you want to write about, you want to act a story about Lagos, you would have to go to the Lagosians. You travel, go to Ekpe, go to Badagry, go to Lagos Island, go to Ebute Meta, go to these places, talk to people, get the real information about these places. That way, when you're creating characters, in the movie, you would be able to portray it right. And then when the people you're talking about watching, they'll be like, yeah, they can relate because it is real. You guys have been able to bring out their culture, bring out their realities with your movies, right? So guys, it's been fantastic talking to you. I have expected my guest all night, but I refuse to be disappointed. The show must go on. So I hope that these few things I've told you guys, you've been able to learn from them. Follow us on all of our social media platforms and inside Nollywood, because we're going to all the updates of our shows, all of our new developments, all the Nollywood information, Nollywood news, Nollywood gist, Nollywood communique, which I'll be bringing to you guys very soon. Every update is going to be on our social media platforms. Flyers for our shows are going to be on our social media platforms. If you want to participate on our live streams, you can go to our social media platform. They're going to be there live every time we are having a show, an interview, a recording, covering an event, whatever it is that we're doing. All of the updates are going to be on our platform, on our page, whether on Instagram, whether on Twitter, the X space actually. But what is it with Nigerians and changing of name? Like, we don't comply with rebranding. Why? Why do we comply? We don't comply with rebranding. Remember NEPA? We refuse to comply. Every toothpaste is Maclean. We have refused to comply. Now there's the X space. We have refused to comply. We're still calling it Twitter. I refuse to be like ordinary Nigerian. I would comply. So it's the X space, like our show is called the X Space Show. So guys, thank you for participating on today's Inside Nollywood conversation. As much as our guests couldn't join us, I apologize for that. It's not going to happen again. But definitely, the topic for today is supposed to be the role of ANMD in Nollywood, which is ANMD is Association of Nigerian Movie Directors. They have a major role that they play. These are the frontiers. These are the ones that make the stars, because they are the directors. I wish they were able to join us today, because we would have had a fantastic conversation, and then you would have been able to understand the role that they play in Nollywood. It's a major role and it should not be taken for granted. And I hope and hope and hope I'm able to bring them back. I will do that because we need to talk about these people. They are important. They are the decision makers of the industry of Nollywood. So, guys, thank you for joining me. Thank you, thank you. I'm so grateful. It's 8 o'clock already. We are going to be having the due. Let me confirm. I want to give you guys the accurate info. I want to give you accurate info. Just give me a few minutes. Okay, guys. So on Saturday by 7 p.m., we're going to be having the long-awaited Nollywood Deal Makers show. Okay, so that's going to be on Saturday. Saturday is just tomorrow, actually. So I want you guys to join me tomorrow as I bring you my. So I'm not going to tell you who my guest is for tomorrow. It is when you join the show tomorrow that you see my guest tomorrow, guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Tomorrow is going to be fantastic. So join me by 7 p.m. tomorrow, and I look forward to having an amazing time on the show with you. Thank you for tonight. Follow us on all of our social media platforms at Inside Nollywood. I on Instagram is JK underscore OAP. JKAY underscore OAP. That is on air personality. You can follow me on, that's also the same thing on all of my social media platforms. Thank you guys.